Something very serious is unfolding inside Keir Starmer's inner circle. Leaked emails, massive sums of money, and whispers of cover-ups are now raising questions that go right to the heart of government. And with calls for police involvement growing louder, this could be one of the most damaging scandals yet for Labour's leadership. Let's break it down, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Once again, the man at the very heart of Keir Starmer's inner circle finds himself under serious scrutiny. This time it's Morgan McSweeney, the Prime Minister's powerful Chief of Staff, who is being accused of concealing hundreds of thousands of pounds in hidden donations. And now, leaked emails have revealed just how deep this mess may run. According to the Daily Mail, McSweeney was told to simply chalk up nearly £740,000 worth of undeclared donations to an admin error. Yes, you heard that right. Almost £750,000 hidden away during the Labour Together campaign group's efforts to propel Starmer into the Labour leadership back in 2020. The background here matters. Labour Together, the campaign organisation McSweeney ran, had already been fined back in 2021 by the Electoral Commission for its handling of donations. The fine itself, just over £14,000, was for no fewer than 20 separate breaches of donation rules. But now, this leaked email suggests something much bigger and potentially much darker was going on. Here's what we know. A senior Labour lawyer, Gerald Shamash, reportedly told McSweeney to drop his claim that he had been advised these massive sums didn't need declaring. Why? Because the Electoral Commission was demanding evidence. If Labour Together couldn't provide that proof, Shamash wrote, then it may be best to simply base our case as down to an admin error. Think about that for a second. Instead of transparency, instead of honesty, we have political insiders allegedly suggesting that the best course of action is to hide behind the excuse of sloppy paperwork. But sloppy paperwork doesn't just hide £700,000. That's not a typo on a form. That's serious money that directly shaped the Labour leadership contest and ultimately brought Starmer to power. The Conservative Party is now demanding urgent action, not just from the Electoral Commission, but potentially the police as well. Tory chairman Kevin Hollanrake didn't mince his words. He said, Morgan McSweeney has been caught red-handed, hiding hundreds of thousands of pounds, which helped install Keir Starmer as Labour leader. This latest scandal is incredibly serious and potentially criminal, and he's right to call it serious, because this is not a backbench MP caught fiddling expenses. This is the man whispering in Starmer's ear every single day. The man with enormous influence over government strategy. If his campaign organisation played fast and loose with donation rules, it's not just a technical error, it's a fundamental question of integrity at the very top of government. Now, of course, Labour are trying to bat this all away. Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy has dismissed calls for a police probe, waving it off as Tory muckraking. On Times Radio, he insisted there's nothing to see here, framing Labour Together as just another group trying to reconnect the party with the British people. But the truth is, Lammy's dismissal only adds fuel to the fire. Because when the responses move along, nothing to see, while leaked emails suggest otherwise, the public are right to smell a cover-up. And let's not forget the wider context. This scandal comes hot on the heels of the Mandelson-Epstein controversy, where Starmer stood firmly by another questionable figure in his circle. Time and again we see a pattern. Starmer refuses to act, refuses to hold his allies accountable, and hopes the storm just blows over. But the more this pattern repeats, the more it undermines his claim to be a leader of integrity and principle. What makes this even more concerning is McSweeney's history. According to a recent biography of Starmer, McSweeney was shaping Labour strategy even before Jeremy Corbyn's disastrous defeat in 2019, offering Starmer not just advice, but also hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of polling data. This wasn't just a bystander, this was the architect behind Starmer's rise. And yet, the organisation that carried him there has been fined, exposed, and now accused of hiding a financial scandal that could have legal consequences. So here we are, £739,492 in hidden donations, a fine for multiple breaches of the law, A leaked email suggesting admin error was used as a convenient excuse. And a prime minister standing loyally by his chief of staff, refusing to acknowledge the seriousness of what's been uncovered. The question is simple: if the Conservatives are right, and this is not just a matter for the Electoral Commission, but for the police, then Starmer cannot simply sit on his hands. If this is nothing to see here, then the public deserve an explanation as to why his closest aide is tied up in the kind of scandal that would have sunk any other politician in the past. Because this isn't just about paperwork, this is about whether the current Prime Minister was effectively carried into office on the back of tainted money. And if that's true, then this scandal doesn't just sit with McSweeney, it lands squarely at Starmer's door. In other news, a top White House official has urged Britain to secure its borders in order to save its women and children. Speaking to Bev Turner on GB News' flagship US program, The Late Show Live, Donald Trump's counter-terror chief Sebastian Gorka called for all UN countries to secure their borders in order to protect women and children from sex slavery. He said, "If you believe in humanity, if you want to save those children, those young women, every nation in the world should stand up and secure those borders. Because by doing so, you make the human trafficking of the cartels impossible. So if you want to save innocent women, innocent girls, then just secure your borders, whichever government you are." Mr. Gorka urged the UK to follow in the president's footsteps in taking a hard stance against illegal migrants. Almost 2 million illegals have been removed from this country or self-deported because they're petrified of our borders, he said. But in comparison, he blasted the current British approach to asylum seekers, calling it cushy, and accused migrants of playing the system and searching for a welfare state rather than fleeing politics or persecution. Home Office data as of September 18th reveals that 31,031 migrants had crossed the channel in a total of 261 small boats in 2025 alone. He said that by allowing such levels of unchecked migration, the British government is ignoring the desires of those who voted for Brexit in 2016. Mr. Gorka said, "It doesn't make any sense to the 17.4 million Britons who voted for national sovereignty in the greatest show of volition by the electorate of the United Kingdom when they voted Brexit to leave the EU." His statement centered primarily around Donald Trump's speech at the United Nations. Mr. Gorka said, "The president believes that nations must have borders. Nations must exercise sovereignty over their territory. And what he means is, you're not a country, you don't have an identity if you don't control your borders and who comes into your countries." He was also asked about his role as senior director for counterterrorism and the US's ongoing operations against Venezuelan drug cartels. In recent weeks, the US president has ordered multiple strikes against boats carrying so-called narco-terrorists in a bid to stop the influx of fentanyl and other drugs. While the moves have garnered criticism from some who have questioned the legitimacy of striking boats in international waters, Mr. Gorka assured viewers it was justified. "These people are murdering Americans by the hundreds of thousands," he warned. "The cartels clearly declared war on us, and the president has declared war on them with utter justice and righteousness." He is using the Foreign Terrorist Organization legislation to designate those cartels and those gangs as foreign terrorist organizations against which we can use deadly force. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.